everyone, it's your boy D Massacre. I'm here with Ammons and my man Mario Quinn, and we're here to talk about the young black male and how the young black male is affected by what's going on in society today, and where we see each other and our people in the future. Right now, just as young indigenous people, where do you think we are right now in the history of the world, or in the period in time?
As a people?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that we're not in the best position. We're definitely at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to economics, things like that. Owning our own businesses, buying from black businesses, things of that nature. I think that we're definitely behind there.
I think, personally, I think we're at a monumental time right now. I think this is the perfect time. With technology, with the rate that people can communicate to each other, I think we're at a good time as when it comes to sharing the information, gaining the knowledge, you know what I mean? Some of the things that we're reading now, 50 years, they were burning them, those books, people were getting hung, and, just a negative attitude towards them, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like reading books, lost books of the Bible, watching documentaries like Hidden Colors, things like that wasn't even available back then. So I think we had a really good time in that regards.
Right.
But politically, socially, like my man said, economically, I think we're in like one of the worst states. And as Michelle Anderson said, I really believe, like she said, that we're basically right on Jim Crow 2.0. You look at the ways that the laws are being passed, you look at the police brutality, not even just to men now. We're seeing women get beat out in the open by police brutality towards kids, women as a whole rate. And, so that's why we're here, just to, shed a little bit of what's in our minds.
Right. I feel the same way. I think that we're at a time in history now where it's getting harder to sustain this illusion that I feel like they put on our people, because 1964 Civil Rights Bill got passed. We can go where we want to go. We can make a certain amount of money or any kind of amount of money we want to. We can do what we want. We can own our own businesses. It's just the illusion that we can't do it, or the illusion that success doesn't look like us, or the illusion that we're not wanted, or we can't sustain success. I think that right now, I agree with what you're saying. This is a great time to be black, to be African, to be indigenous, to grow and have great ideas and see those ideas manifest. We're living in a time where we can actually see our ideas really manifest in a big way at a young age. But I think that now it's about breaking the illusion and telling our people, hey, we can do this. For me as a studier, as an indigenous studier, learning, of course, reading a series of, watching a series of documentaries, reading articles, hearing different indigenous professors speak, I'm learning, okay, we did teach the rest of the world how to read and write. We were highly spiritually conscious, and that tied in scientifically with who we were. I also seen one of the brothers his name's Phil Valentine. I think one of his lectures, and he was speaking about how when Europeans came to, because we always talk about European society or Western society, but he was like, the people that were already here, that's Western society. And he was speaking about how when Europeans came over here, all they seen was like people with tattoos and people with sticks and strange things on their heads, and they didn't see how highly sophisticated spiritual technology that was going on. They just seen people in huts with sticks, but there was a lot of higher and spiritual science and universal consciousness that was partaken that they weren't aware of or conscious of. And I feel like now, our people have been robbed. They've been robbed of their history, of who they are, and I feel like that's how you control the people. So I feel like now, because information is so tangible now, and it's so harder, it's more of a balance in that to try to control it. I feel like it's my duty to tell my people the truth, so we can revolt against this illusion that's been put upon us.
I agree with that. I feel like I got a duty too, because I've been reading, studying over the last 5-6 years. The thing is, though, that I've learned, especially this year, from a lot of posts and things like that I was posting on Facebook at the beginning of the year, a lot of Black consciousness, indigenous consciousness, higher spiritual involvement and vibrations. A lot of people, sometimes all your duty can be is just to plant the seed. You tell them the information. Because some things that I've learned now, an elder came to me and told me, or somebody that was reading and researching and told me, and I wasn't really at that level of consciousness and awareness yet. So, like you said, with the revolt, I think some people, they just don't want to know. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it has to be more personal, like you said, like the individual awareness of who you are. You know what I mean? Your purpose in the world. Because when we look at videos, we look at the news, we look at what's going on in the world, it seems like life is really invaluable. You know what I mean? Just yesterday, a guy was my age got killed. You know what I mean? I just walked that same spot not too long ago, like 2 days before that. And you know what I mean? It's just like the value on life seems like it's at like so low of a level, because like we don't have that belief, you know what I'm saying, as an entire people, that we are something, that what we're doing is valuable, it's actually contributing to it. You know what I mean?
I got a question. Do you guys think that that we've after immigration, do you guys think that we've lost a lesser version of who we were before that time, or do you think that we were maybe a little bit more unified when we had to be because of the laws?
We've always we were unified after slavery, more so than we were during the civil rights movement. I feel with Black Wall Street, things of that nature. Like we had, businesses, banks, things of that nature, schools. So we were already there. We had that unity well before the civil rights movement. I think now, it's you don't lose that. You know what I mean? Africa's always in you. You know what I mean? You don't lose that connection. I think now it's just kind of, like you said, the illusion is that there's more to distract. There's more to, keep us from finding out who we are. And so I feel like how Damon said earlier, some people aren't ready to know. So, I mean, we can only say or do so much. You can only educate so much before a person makes that decision themselves. You know what I mean? So I think now our people, we're still there, and with the internet and things like that, and we're just getting right back where we need to be. You know what I mean? But there are some distractions and things in the way from that unity, and that's systematic white supremacy in my eyes. You know what I mean? Keep it real.
And the crazy thing is that I just like the more I'm learning, and I would say I'm fairly new to the struggle, even though I have a big passion. I'm able to gain a lot of knowledge because it's crazy because when you learn things through other Africans or other indigenous people, it's like you learn it in such a simple way, and you learn so much. Like I've learned, I like school, but when I learned my history through my people of my kind, it was just so much more easier. I listened to a lot of lectures, and I really feel like from this journey I've gone on, I feel like a lot of our distraction as well has come from our food. I'm learning how important our food was, like how we ate, and that had such a big effect on who we are, because we don't eat shit that's real. Okay.
Not even the animals anymore.
No. And I used to think, okay, well maybe they want to make money. It's capitalism, but maybe it's just they just want to make money, and that's probably it. That's why we're suffering. And then I'm thinking, well, no, like they know our sciences too. They know that if they fuck us off, like if they cut us off from things that are natural, then that's a deterrent from us really learning about who we are and being receptive to different energies that we could be using to heal ourselves, to heal other people. to create new ideas to help this planet. So I'm learning that that's very, very important. I feel like our food is definitely important. I feel like, you know, our herbs are important because that's how our ancestors ate. They ate and they drank things that were natural. And I think that's a big part too, because like, how can you think great if you don't put anything in your body that is great? And don't get it wrong. I mean, when I leave here, I'm probably gonna go get some Doritos or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even study, you know what I'm saying? But I'm speaking to myself too. Like, you know, I feel like we can definitely do things like that.
Well, what about the farmers markets? You know what I mean? That's a really good source.
You
There's
can
co-ops,
grow your own too.
and you could always just tear up your backyard a little bit and grow some. You know, when it comes to like having a whole farm and certain, you know what I mean, that there's city laws, you know, there's state laws, you know what I mean, that might prohibit certain type of thing. It's just another set of headaches. But the best a person can do is, you know, like I said, tear up their backyard, plant some fruits, vegetables. You know, my grandpa been doing it for at least 40 years. Like, he's like 75. Dan still does push-ups every morning, like works out, smokes like a pack a day. You know what I mean? Drinks like a 6-pack a day. You know what I mean? So like, you know, he constantly is, even though like one thing I learned from him is just like the counter move. You know what I mean? The jab and the counter move. So like, you know, I smoke cigarettes, but to counter that, you know, I play basketball, I skate, I walk a lot. You know what I mean? I work out, I breathe. I'm trying to get into yoga and get more flexible. You know, so I try to counteract them things. Eventually, you know, I'm going to have enough willpower and other things going in my life that I can completely cut that out. Like, you know, I cut fast food completely out of my diet. You know what I mean? I only had fast food, I think, once, like after a little fashion show. But I haven't had fast food in like almost a year and a half before. You know, so it is powerful.
That is just amazing because Phil Valentine said, he said, you know, anything that's natural, you usually don't have a die-hard craving for. You know, you don't wake up in Jones for an apple or an orange. You know what I'm saying? But if somebody brought some ribs in this motherfucker or some chicken, and you smelt it, it's like, oh shit, I gotta have it. Yeah, because I feel, and that's another way, like, keeping us addicted. You know, we have we're consumers, and that comes, you know, genetically. You know, that means you have cells in your body that are addicting cells. You have cells that are programmed to really crave something, and I don't think that's natural. I don't think our ancestors really did that. I think they more so got what they needed, and then they did the rest. So I feel like, you know, especially in America, when, you know, everything is better, much is better, more is better.
It's a consumerist society, though. You know, America, the United States of America doesn't have no real gross national product. Their gross national product is companies. You know, we got corporations. You know, we got military bases. You know, that's pretty much like our gross national product. You know, if you look at it, like the EU, China's whole united, you know what I mean, their whole union or whatever, their union, they're all becoming like capitalistic. You know, like China used to be like, was once called like Africa's second nation, like, you know what I mean, because China was really their spirituality, you look at Buddha, you know what I'm saying, like KRS One said in Hidden Colors 1, like the Buddha got naughty hair, you know, he had naps. So it's all like we was talking.
Justice for Herman Wallace. BBB the prophets. Bobby Seals a real scholar. Mr. Black Power, Mr. Start a Problem. Let's dress up in suits and start a problem. Fuck a Congress, we gotta solve our own problems. Whoever told you cops and politicians help lied to you. They blinding you, hypnotizing you. They'll fucking make you a promise and then they'll lie to you. Political trade.